the part of moving from the markets division to DIA, so that what and then focusing on that transition. So what's the difference in the role of a peak body versus a peak body and the agency?
I think the biggest difference is the peak body is certainly a lot more capable of influencing and stewarding the sector through softer regulation, through development, through policy control, through education than a lot of government agencies are. And that's certainly something that instantly hit me when I started with DIA. One of the first kind of strategic programs that DIA and the board really wanted me to focus on was that professionalisation piece, and that started with our professional standards of practice. And when I look at what those standards of practice have delivered for the sector, it would have taken 10 times as long doing that piece of work within a government setting. But being able to implement and develop the sector and work with the sector to support their growth and their professionalisation in a more collaborative way is something that I think DIA and peak bodies have an advantage to. We're certainly able to be a lot more agile and recognise when things are happening in the sector that might not be as intended, to be able to step in and have those conversations and discussions with organisations and say, actually, hey, we might want to look over here or undertake, this policy work. So that agility and being able to respond to the market as it's growing, the market is growing from an innovation perspective, from a service delivery perspective, 10 times faster than I think government realises.
And I'm going to elaborate more on the professional practice standards and why is very relevant for the sector in terms of trust and control, but more in terms of why it is important in this fairly scattered marketplace and a fairly diverse range of support coordination and plan management providers across this. There are small, mid-sized, regional, metro, remote. There's a lot of variety in there. So how do you standardize professional standards as well?
I think on top of all of that, we also have regulation and a regulatory environment that comes from the Quality and Safeguards Commission. But then equally we have kind of little p policy that comes out of the agency. You have price guide implications and a range of other things that really impact and drive the way the market operates. So one of the key points and what we were trying to achieve, and I think we've done quite successfully, is being able to aggregate all of those requirements from the Quality and Safeguards Commission through either registration or their code of conduct, through the rules and the policy that's set by the agency, from broader regulatory environments, particularly state and territory governments and other things, and distill that down into a set of operationalised service standards. And that was really the key for us, is we wanted a set of professional standards of practice that were actually of practice and were able to be implemented regardless of your geographical location, your size, your scale. So we have the top 25 largest plan managers in the country, which are some of the largest disability organisations operating. 23 are our members, but also we have a number of sole traders and small organisations. In fact, they're the vast majority of our membership. So being able to have professional standards of practice that are scalable and can be read in the context of an organisation that has a compliance department and has a legal department, and but can also still be operationalised by a small sole trader, was really critical to the way in which we developed our standards of practice.
So the development was through work and co-design work with the members?
Absolutely. We had...
and non-members?
Yes. So we went through a range of kind of co-design. We had a series of workshops that we ran, both with our members and non-members. We also released public drafts of our professional standards of practice for public comment. We engaged with the agency and the Quality and Safeguards Commission around the work we were doing, and a series of other bodies as well, to really make sure that where we were trying to go from a professionalisation point of view wasn't in contradiction with what the market needed, but also what other regulators and kind of the regulatory setting within our environment looked like.